Well, hey, good afternoon, good morning, whatever we are right now. Today is the 27th of November, 2018. I'm Captain Tony Scarpino, base CO here at NASJRB New Orleans. I got with me my right-hand man, my trusty XO, Barbie, and my Command Master Chief, Mr. Mason, Master Chief Mason. It's great to be here today. So, we, as a triad here at NASJRB New Orleans, we're trying to think of some innovative, fun, unique things to do in order to kind of bring the base together, put out information, communication, so on and so forth. Just trying to improve the base overall and the quality of life for everybody that lives on this base. So we came up with this idea, and we decided we wanted to do a podcast. And we're going to take this podcast, and we're going to do it probably, on a monthly basis is what we're thinking right now. That could change. But for right now, we're thinking about a monthly basis. We'll be doing this podcast. We're going to have different topics every single month. And we're going to go ahead and post it on our app, which I hope that you are enjoying right now. Because we put a lot of time and effort into making sure that app got launched, and it's going to be a great tool for everybody that's attached to the base, families of the base, dependents, so on and so forth. So anyway, that's why we launched the app as well. So anyway, this is a big part of the app. This podcast, just to kind of move forward with what we plan on doing with this podcast in the future. We're going to have, say, the MWR director come here. We're going to talk to her about morale, welfare, recreation events throughout on the base. We're going to have another podcast. We'll have the Fleet and Family Service Center director come here. She'll talk about all the different programs they have with regards to the Fleet and Family Service Center. We're going to talk to the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society, and she's going to talk about all the different programs they have and their initiatives going forward to help our sailors and their families that are in need. And then lastly, we'll talk about fitness program. I know myself, I definitely need that fitness program.
I'm not gonna lie, I do too.
Yeah, a little bit. No offense, but anyway, we're gonna have our fitness gurus come here, and they're gonna talk about fitness, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be neat. But today, we're going to talk about the Command Triad, and we're gonna title this "Get to Know the Triad." So, again, Captain Scarpino, I'm going to go ahead and ask Master Chief Mason to tell us a little bit about himself.
That's not putting me on the spot at all, sir. Not at all. So, Master Chief Billy Mason, a native of Milford, Connecticut. And yes, I'm a Yankees fan and a Giants fan, not a Patriots fan or a Red Sox fan for those of you out there. Anyway, I graduated from Syracuse University in 1989, a degree in anthropology and a degree in economics, although economics wasn't for me. And I became an archaeologist before coming into the Navy, believe it or not. I worked for the Jamaican National Heritage Trust on the island of Jamaica, and then when those projects were over, I ended up becoming a cultural resource scientist for the state of New York, and I worked in
How long were you in Jamaica?
About 6 months. I did one project in Seville, Jamaica, which is outside Ocho Rios, and then I went down and did the underwater project with Texas A&M at Port Royal, Jamaica, and that was. Did
you grow dreadlocks at the time? Or? I know you couldn't do it now. You couldn't do it now, but
yeah, I did have long hair and the dirt
really?
Squirrel. Yeah, I did there for a little while.
Cool.
And,
That's cool.
Dirt squirrel?
Yeah, yeah, I know. That one got cut. That got cut off, obviously, when I joined the Navy. So after the ground froze in New York and I couldn't do any more digging, I worked for a rental car agency and absolutely hated it. And around that time was Desert Storm.
Speaking of rental car agencies, remind me to tell you a story about my rental car experience in a little bit. But go ahead.
So after that, when Desert Storm, Desert Shield broke out, I felt my patriotic duty, and I went out and joined the Navy. I initially put in a package for the aviation officer candidate school, and I don't know if you remember, but back in '91 they severed an entire class from service, and they weren't taking anybody in.
Right.
I was part of that fallout.
That's called Rift, right? That was part of the Rift.
I was
right.
kind of part of that fallout, and was already enlisted. I'm like, well, hey, let's see how this enlisted thing works out, and the rest is kind of history. I became
worked
an air,
out for you.
It did. I
worked
became
out
an
for
air
you.
crewman. I was at VR 58 in Jacksonville back when they had the C9s, and became a loadmaster there, and then saw the light and went C-130s out to VR 55.
I saw the light too. I went
Exactly.
C-130s as well, so
Yes.
we have that in common.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Flew-
This guy, unfortunately, does not have that in common.
No, he's a rotorhead.
Yeah, yeah.
I see the light higher.
Yeah, not higher than a C-130.
Right,
but
right.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I was a C-130 flight engineer for about 12 years, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
I
it's awesome.
enjoyed the hell out of it. And
It was
then
awesome.
made senior chief right here at VR 54.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in 2007. And since then have gone back and forth from New Orleans to Fort Worth, back to New Orleans. I was at VAW 77. Then I went down to VFC 111 in Key West, another fabulous tour down there.
Tough duty out
Yeah,
there.
oh yeah. Picked up Master Chief down there. Came back and was at NRPDC for a little while, and then did my change of charge with Master Chief Helms, and have been here since June.
Good.
Loved it.
So let me, what's your, obviously you had a very successful Navy career. What's your secret to success?
Family,
Family?
and the
Okay.
support. The support. There's no way that I could have come as far as I have without the support of my wife and 3 sons. And you
And
know,
she makes an unbelievable pepperoni roll. By the way. Oh my
West
God,
Virginia
it's good.
native.
It's
Yes,
good.
that's
It's good.
And that's why we work out.
I know.
Yes.
I know. Yeah, me too
That's why
more.
we all work out.
Yeah.
That's why you see me out there running every morning
Right.
on the base. And yeah, so I like to eat, and I have to run because I like to eat. So
Exactly.
you'll see me out there every
Right.
doggone near every
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So, Mr. Bob Barbie here.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So Bob Barbie always knew that he wanted to be 2 things: a pilot, and he wanted to be in the Navy.
Okay.
And I took the most circuitous route I could come up with to get here.
Okay.
So money didn't work out too well for me out of high school to get into college and everything. So, of course, Bob enlisted.
And you're
then-
from Kentucky.
I'm
or-
from Kentucky.
Right.
That's right, the hillbilly state.
There you go.
But anyway,
I didn't say that. He said that.
yeah, I'm
He
fine with
can
that.
say that
He
because
said
he's
that.
from there.
That's
But go ahead.
exactly
Okay.
right. I'm allowed to say that.
Go
No
ahead.
one else can. But so anyway, I enlisted and I went through basic training. And after I got through basic training, on my way down to AIT at Fort Benning, Georgia, I took the ASVAB. And me and 2 other guys did really, really well on it. And apparently the Army said, "Hey, we'll offer you a scholarship if you want to go to one of these 2 schools." So I went to Marion Military Institute in Marion, Alabama. If you ever get the chance, I highly recommend it.
Now, don't make fun of Alabama, too. I mean, you're
No,
okay,
I'm not
all
making
right,
fun of
all right.
Alabama. I
All right.
loved it. I loved my
Okay.
time there. I got my commission very quickly, very early, and I assessed as an infantryman. And I went to North Carolina to finish up my degree. So I was a North Carolina National Guard, the 130th Infantry Brigade.
Okay.
So you scored really high on the ASVAB to be an infantryman.
Yeah, I don't quite
Okay.
know how that happened. I think what they said is, you must be at least this tall, and I was
think
just
you were,
under
I think you
there.
were
so,
sold a bag of goods.
That's right. So I am the king of the knuckle draggers.
All right.
But anyway, so I'm an art major out of Marion Military Institute through Campbell University in Campbell, Buies Creek, North Carolina.
Okay.
After that, I went active duty as infantryman, and I started out with the 11th ACR at Fort Irwin, California. If you ever get the chance, go out and fight with the OP-4 out there. Greatest group of guys you'll ever work with. And so I fought with the OP-4 there. And then from there, I went to my advanced course at Fort Knox, Kentucky. So big trip for me, back to Kentucky again. And then after that, I went to Schofield Barracks, Hawaii with 25th ID. So I got both mechanized infantry and light infantry under my belt, did my airborne thing, did a whole lot of
Are you more Louisville or Kentucky fan?
Kentucky fan.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But after that, that's when I finally was able to make the transition over to the Navy. So the Army, I said, hey, I'm done with my mandatory time. I want to be a pilot. And they said, nope, we need really, really short infantry officers. So I said, you mind if I shop around a little bit? And the Navy, the Army said, sure, I don't want to pick you up. And the Navy said, we'll make you a pilot. And so here I am.
There you go.
I jumped ship. I'm over here now in the Navy. After that, I went through flight school down in Pensacola and Whiting Field. Selected for helicopters. Went up to fly 53s, MH-53 Echo, the Mighty Sea Dragon. Out of Norfolk, went straight over to Sicily, and was out of Sigonella with HC4. And after that,
I know you're not going to make fun of Italy because
not at all.
Yours truly, Scarpino,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
got a little Italian in me. So, all right, go ahead.
I'm not going to say anything about that at
okay,
all.
all right.
But once I got over to Italy, it's like I couldn't get back. So I went there for 5 years, did all my time at HC4, came back long enough to go to the War College for 10 months, and then bam, right back. And I did my staff tour at UCOM and AFRICOM in Stuttgart, Germany.
Nice.
And then bam, right back to doing an EXO tour in Naples, Italy. That was why I'm still doing it. I love being an EXO. Love doing this job. Got my CO time at NAS Syracuse, New York.
There's our connection.
There we go.
Syracuse, of course.
Did my time there, and then went to CNIC headquarters and loved it so much I begged to come down here. And I got this job. I got very lucky. Because usually this job is reserved for FTS. I am not FTS.
Right.
But once again, I'm a firm believer in making people tell me no.
Right.
And they couldn't come up with a good reason not to, so here I am.
Right. So now, Master, I'm going to ask you, EXO, what your secret to success is. But before I do that, Master Chief kind of made it difficult on it, both of us, because he says, "Hey, my secret to success is my family, my wife, of course." Okay, so what are we supposed to say now? Okay, because if we say anything but that,
You're in the doghouse.
we're in the doghouse. Okay, so of course,
You're
for
welcome.
any success that any of us have, we will attribute 100% to our family and our spouses. No question about it. So besides that, besides your spouse,
Very good.
okay,
Christian Christie, you're welcome.
what do you contribute to you? What is your secret to success?
My secret is to find something that you love and stick with it. So the thing is, and that covers the spouses. Damn, I'm good. But find something you love. And what I believe is that my first tour was so good with the 11th ACR. I loved everything about it. I loved the people I worked with. I loved the job that I was doing. I loved the whole thing. You'll spend the next 20 years of your career trying to find that same unit again. And that's what I've done. And I'm past 20, and I'm going to keep doing it because I just love doing what I do.
Awesome. That's awesome. He does have a passion for our Navy. There's no question about it, and he does a great job along with the Master Chief. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. So anyway, so they told you a little bit about themselves. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, if you don't mind. So a native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I grew up there my whole life. I'm a huge Steeler fan. I don't know if you can see all my Steeler stuff in the background, but huge Steeler fan. And loved football growing up. That was my passion. There's no question about it. Western Pennsylvania is kind of famous for the quarterbacks. They had Dan Marino, Joe Montana, a whole bunch of other guys, Jim Kelly, Joe Namath. They're all from that Western Pennsylvania area. So it was my dream growing up. I wanted to be a quarterback just like them. So anyway, I had no inkling of any idea that I wanted to be in the Navy growing up. I just wanted to throw footballs for the rest of my life. Anyway, so that's what I did. That was my passion. I was lucky enough to have earned a scholarship to the University of Maryland out of high school. I was there for 2 years, ended up transferring to the University of Memphis, and I played there for the rest of my career. Crazy story. Speaking of rental cars, you mentioned rental cars earlier. So when my playing days were over, and it was sadly the reality hit that I was no longer going to play quarterback. I was not very good. But anyway, once that reality hit, and I wasn't going to go to the NFL or anything like that, my very first job out of college was at Enterprise Rental Car, okay, as a car washer. Okay, I got hired on to wash cars. So here I am, went from, I don't want to say I was big man on campus, but, I was, Division I quarterback, okay, to the next day when I was done, I was washing cars at Enterprise Car. It was a little bit of a, it hit as far as my ego is concerned, a little bit. But nothing wrong with washing cars for a living.
No.
But it was a little bit of a hit. So anyway, I had a degree in athletic promotions from the University of Memphis, and my GPA, let's say, was not stellar. Okay, so washing cars, that's what it gets you. Okay, you're washing cars, and I'm trying to think as I'm washing cars, so what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I'm not going to do this. What the heck am I going to do? And I always thought, it'd be kind of cool to, I guess, be an airline pilot. It'd be really neat to be an airline pilot. Kind of fly the friendly skies, get paid pretty well, so on and so forth. So I started looking into it a little bit, and I looked into these aviation academies, Calm Air Aviation Academy, Embry-Riddle, what have you, and they're super expensive, super expensive. So I was not going to be able to go that route. So a lot of my buddies, they said, well, you should consider joining the military. They'll teach you how to fly, and then you can go and fly for the airlines after that. So, I was like, I don't know about this whole military thing, but after I was washing cars for a little while, I got a little bit more interested in the military. And so naturally, as I wanted to be an airline pilot, I thought Air Force. I want to go fly airplanes. I want to go to the Air Force. So I went to the Air Force recruiter, and I walk in, and they ask to see my transcript is one of the first things they do. And they see athletic promotions major with I'm not going to say what my GPA is, but it wasn't very good. And they said, thanks, but no thanks. We're looking for engineers with 4.0 GPA, stuff like that. So I was a little discouraged, trying to think what else. Yeah, I was trying to think what else I was going to do with my life. And I worked with a guy at a car wash, and he older gentleman. He was a Vietnam vet. You remember he had like the Vietnam vet hat on. He was Navy, Vietnam vet Navy, in the Navy. And he said, you should consider joining the Navy. I'm like, I don't know about this. His name is Pops. I was like, I don't know about this, Pops. Come on. And one day I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm on Poplar Avenue. I look in the corner of my eye at a red light, and I see a Navy recruiting sign up in a strip mall. And the light turns green. Last second, I said, forget it. I turned in there. I was all dirty, and I didn't have my transcript on me, so on and so forth. I walk in the room and in the building, and I said, I want to be a pilot. What do I have to do? And, well, the lady kind of looked at me like, well, there's a lot to be a pilot in the Navy. Well, it just so happened, corner room, the guy walks up to me, and his name is Lieutenant Bach. I'll never forget it. Lieutenant Bach wasn't even based out of Memphis. He was based out of St. Louis, but he was there on like a site visit. And he overheard me saying, I want to be a pilot. And he just started talking to me, and he was like a football fan, so we kind of hit it off. We were talking sports, so on and so forth. And he held my hand through the entire process. He helped me, submit my package to officer candidate school. He helped me with I had to take an aptitude test. He helped me with that. He helped me with he didn't take tests for me, but he helped me study for the test. And before I knew it was about maybe 2 months later, I'm at the car wash, working at the car wash, a little depressed because I know what I was going to do with my life. Didn't think I had a chance and beans to get in the Navy, actually. And I get a phone call from Lieutenant Bach saying, congratulations, you leave next week for officer candidate school. You're going to flight school right after. So, crazy story. And, the whole, airline thing, it kind of went by the wayside aside. You know what? I like this Navy thing. I like the leadership aspect of being in the Navy and all the, the sailors and the camaraderie. I mean, it's like the closest thing to being on a football field with your buddies playing football, and the camaraderie associated with that is being in the Navy and having your buddies with you. I mean, camaraderie is very similar. So I kind of fell in love with that aspect of the Navy, and here I am over 23 years later, still in the Navy and doing this. I got this job as a base CO for a phenomenal installation here in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I have the greatest XO and CMC in the world. It's awesome. But, so I started off flying P3s, did the P3 thing for a while, became an FRS instructor for P3s in Jacksonville, went and transitioned to C-130s, and absolutely love it. Been based in places like Maine and all these other neat locations. So, but here I am in New Orleans now, and it's just been a phenomenal thing. So, that's us. That's the Triad. That's the Triad. So, anyway, anything else you guys want to add?
One thing I do want to throw out there is that we're going to have lots of guests that are going to show up for this thing, and they're going to talk and provide information. But the other thing I want to make sure we do is if there are people out there that want to hear about something, want to discuss something, that we absolutely would love to hear from you. So you can go to our ICE page, and you can submit a topic there, or you can go to our Facebook page, and our public affairs officer will certainly be looking at that and pull out your information from that. And we'll research the topic, and we'll provide information on it here.
Yeah, absolutely. And to mention the ICE, you mentioned ICE, and that's a great tool for people that want to reach out and give us some suggestions, recommendations, what have you. So ICE, use Google ICE or go ICE ICE.disa DISA ICE.disa. Google that, hit New Orleans, and you can email us, or not email us, but submit your questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, what have you. On that, we'll definitely get back to you.
Yep.
And even though some of those are going to be, you can be anonymous on ICE, you don't have to leave your name. But what we were thinking about doing in this forum is every now and again we'll grab some of these anonymous ICE, because there are good questions and good information that people want to know. We'll do a segment on your ICE comments answered. Because when you leave and when you go into ICE anonymously, we can't respond back to you. And a lot of these things we would love to respond back so that everybody gets the benefit of the information.
Yeah,
so in the future, we're thinking about having or going to be doing a segment on your ICE comments
for sure.
answered.
Definitely. So bottom line is this: you met the Triad. Our intentions are pretty simple. We want to make things better, okay, here. Not that they're not already good. I think they're great, but we want to continue to improve, make things great here on NASJRB New Orleans, because we think it's a fantastic base, fantastic location, fantastic people that work here, and we want everybody to enjoy it as much as possible. We are all about receiving suggestions, recommendations that you may have to make things better. So please, by all means, feel free to reach out to us anytime via ICE, via Facebook, what have you, and we'd love to hear from you, like Master Chief said. And we again, we're striving to do the right thing and to make things better for you all. So anyway, with that, I guess we'll sign off at this first edition of the of our podcast here at NASJRB New Orleans. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.
I know that we certainly did, and we look forward to seeing you soon. All right. Take care. God bless.
Bye,
Bye now.
everybody.